Hello and welcome to this edition of Tips and Tricks. Now today I'm going to be talking about flushing out your reels to keep them working with their best performance. Now over the years I was always a WD-40 and a PT Catalyst guy. That's what I would always squirt my reels down with. You know, everyone said, oh, that oil's too light, that oil won't protect them, you need the heavier reel oil. Also, when I got some of my new reels, I started using some of the heavier reel oil. And on the Swinnel one in particular, I mean, it's a cheaper reel, it's a beater reel. Soon after I got it, the reel handle wouldn't engage the reel. Then it started grinding and binding up a bit. So I would, in fact, I bought myself some heavier reel oil, and I would open up this little side thing and take out the little Teflon spacer thing and put oil in it, but it wasn't helping it. It still wouldn't engage when I cast. It still had this grinding. I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to my WD-40. I had my WD-40 and I used it inside these things. I never had these kind of problems. So I opened it up and I flushed it out with it. And I mean, when I opened this thing up, take the little side thing off, take out either the bearing or the spacer that's in there, and I just flood it. I mean, I flood it till it's actually coming out of the thing. And then I put the thing back on and I set it on a rag or a paper towel for about, I don't know, half hour, and I let all that oil seep out of it. Because when I found when I was putting this in, it's so heavy in that, not much of it was seeping out around the little connections between the reel and the side cover. I mean, I would wipe, but it would come out in some places, but I'm used to my WD-40 and PT Catalyst. I'm used to the stuff seeping out. And what I realized is what that does, and when you do this to your reels and you wipe it, it's very black. I mean, the WD-40 or PT Catalyst is in fact so thin that as it seeps out through these cracks and everywhere, it actually pulls all that little soot and dirt and stuff that's in your reel out. I mean, to me, that's a lot easier than taking the whole thing apart and cleaning the whole thing off and then re-oiling it and doing everything. Because this way it does it on its own. And like I said, I always used it, and I never had problems with the reel not engaging, and I never had, it getting sand and grit in it, so it had some binding and resistance in it. Like I said, I kept putting this stuff in it, and I mean, I'd put 3 drops in and then still do the same thing. I'd put drops in it again, still do. Because yes, it's thick, but it stays in there. And it's like motor oil in a car. It stays in there and it starts getting all that soot and that stuff in it. And it's not helping it. It'll kind of gunk it up. The WD-40 and PT Catalyst breaks that stuff down. And like I said, it seeps out. I mean, I let it sit for half hour. I come back every once in a while and I wipe off what's starting to puddle. And you'll notice when you do it. I mean, it comes out black. I mean, it pulls everything out. So it's a very good way to flush a reel without having to take the whole thing apart and really clean it. And I mean, like I said, when I first got this, I was like, oh my God, I wanted to beat a reel. I didn't want to pay much money for it. This thing doesn't work. I'm going to have to spend some more money to get something a little bit better. Nope. Once I started flushing it with the WD-40, it's been working fine ever since. And what I did do, though, is a combination. Because this is heavier, and yes, heavier does guard it more. So after I flush it, and and when I first flush it, I put the back on, I reel it this way, and then I reel it this way, and then I reel it this way, and then I reel it upside down, and I kind of shake it all around to get that thing. And once all that WD-40 drains out, I open it up and just put in 2 or 3 drops of the heavier reel oil. So give it a try. Flushing a reel to give it better performance for a long time. I hope this helps. Until next time.